Cool.
with bears.
With bears. Is
Yeah,
bears the word frequently in this?
let's see what bears I have on Alpha Bear. Okay, I have. To go to my bearatorium.
Bear bee, perhaps?
Quit the menu. Yeah, let's quit the menu. Okay, who's my Alpha Bear selections?
Beta
We
bear.
ooh yeah, Beta Bear. Let's see. We've got Alarm Bear. Artist Bear looks like Bob Ross. Picasso Bear. There's Sushi Bear. Flapper Bear.
Okay.
Gramophone Victrola Bear. Undead Bear. There's lots of bears.
You need to save that for a round of game show.
Lots of bears for you.
Yeah, you have to ask them which bears there are. List all
Now,
the bears.
oh, which one is not the real Alpha Bear bear? Yeah, don't
No,
make
like you
that.
have to list all the bears. Can you
Oh,
list how
oh,
many bears can you list?
oh God, yeah. You know that those stress me out. That's probably why I don't listen to the show as much as I used to. That then stresses me out when there's a big long list, especially when I have no clue what it's about.
Well, I like it when it's a list of things that no one in their right mind would know.
Let's see. I have notes, don't I? Yes, I do. And I just have to sit here
Oh
and
boy.
rap. I just have to rap about this.
Yo, I'm the hammer and you're the anvil. I'm gonna hammer you until you go to a
Spamville.
standstill. Oh.
Yours is probably better than mine, which is
Yeah.
not saying anything.
Yo.
Maddie
We're
like
gonna start.
Maddie likes to freestyle sometimes too, but it's always really
What
horrible.
era? What era does he borrow from?
1991.
Oh yeah. So like, I love Fruity Pebbles in a major way, like that level.
That's more like 1988, isn't it?
I mean, that's 3 years apart. It's not that different.
Hey, in the world of early hip hop, that's a big change.
Actually, it's yeah. I guess you're right. 91 was like Fight the Power, which
Right.
isn't that different from the Fruity Pebbles song. I mean, come on. Okay,
uh
we do this.
yeah. Oh, real quick, not Friday, excuse me, Sunday night. We'll do that zone thing at 6:30.
I've got that on my calendar. That's what your scheduled thing said.
So it'll be Brian from the chat. We usually chat. And then the Patreon guy's going to come in too because I had scheduled one with him, but it was like a day later. So I was like, well, do you want to come in on this one? So
Patreon guy.
there's a guy that is because remember the Discord is mission log, right? So this is someone
Yeah.
that's actually a Patreon for time enough. And I chatted with him a
Oh,
couple
you mean
months
a
ago.
patron? Okay, cool.
Yeah. And
Wow.
I talked to him once before, so I know he's not at least he can
Damn.
talk, you know.
Wow, that's amazing. Like I'm a paying patron for like two podcasts. If they like were gonna bring me on their chat, that'd be amazing. That's a really nice perk.
As far as I know, he's the only one specifically there for time enough. So
Okay, cool.
because there's several people there that are there for Luke Loves Pokemon, right? And
Okay, I don't
maybe
know. I don't
Monster
know.
Mash. No one
I
is
don't have that information. I'm not
the game show has no patrons that I know of. So
man, I
it might, I don't
yeah,
know. Because I
it
think that
should. That's like it's ironic that that's like kind of the thing that I feel like that's the thing that should become the biggest, but it's like the smallest.
well,
Like
that's the
that's
weird
the
thing
thing
about
that could have
podcasts.
the largest audience.
Like the sci-fi sanctuaries, though we've been doing about more than 3 years, but more people listen to time enough and I call it Disney's kind of catching up with some
Yeah,
listeners. So yeah, because they're more specific, I guess, right? So oh, did
yeah.
I tell you about my tweet last week? Because I was excitingly sharing it with everyone at work.
No.
Okay, I get my
Did
phone
you
real quick.
go viral?
Did not go viral, but I'll bring
Ah,
this image up on my phone because it's more fun to show than to tell in this case. Let's see. I need to go to Twitter. I'm just talking because I already hit the record, right?
it's fine.
It's a call it Disney. Go to notifications. Where is it? Recent tweet. So I got followed. There's too much shit here.
You know what it is? I think it's just the words game show are like too general, and it's like it's not going to show up in.
Yeah, that's probably part of it.
Mm.
Da, da,
Maybe
da.
they should just extend the name of the thing on the feed to game show, a game show about game. No, maybe it might not work. They should just put a descriptor at the end of it with video game.
Anyway, I can't find it, but I picked up my phone last Thursday, and it's like, Occult Disney is being followed by the Church of Satan. I'm like,
Oh,
yay!
hell yeah. That's awesome.
It seemed like it wasn't like the real one though. It seemed like someone was like starting their own Church of Satan like later in 2023. So maybe they wanted to
What?
recruit me. Like it's a new
Wait, it's
Church
like
of
a
Satan.
new account or something?
No, it's like we're starting a new Church of Satan because maybe they had a schism with the old one. I'm not sure.
Well, there's, the Temple of Set and the Church of Satan and the Temple of Satan. I think that's different.
That's why I
The Temple of Set is like more closely related to, I think.
followers. You
Oh
know
God,
what?
I don't know. I don't want to even talk about it because I'm sure I'll get something wrong. But
Well,
there's
this is the
definitely
part that not many
offshoots.
people listen to anyway. You know what? It's already gone. I think it's now like a titty thing. Yeah, I think if someone was like,
It's now a titty thing, like
yeah.
the Church of Titties.
No, I think it's just some model or something, and they maybe went around telling everyone they're a Church of Satan because now it looks like someone like the most recent follower is like somebody who likes to put their boobies on the screen, which is fine. But I feel like that was the
Oh,
Church of Satan account, and it changed into like my old level smut, which I guess that makes
which
sense.
probably means it's just a fake person doing fake things and will eventually get kicked off Twitter or just keep
It's
changing
probably
into
that
something else.
it's probably that AI that Microsoft is trying to chase down or something.
Because there was like an Instagram account that was a friend of mine who I wasn't very close with, who's like, "Hey, something got locked out of my account." I was like, I don't remember what I responded to, but then it was like, "Give me your number." I was like, I immediately blocked it, but that account is still showing up in my messages. Like that account still exists. It just has a different picture and a different name now.
Yeah, so that's what seems to have happened with the Church of Satan, which is disappointing. I wanted the Church of Satan to try and recruit me at least.
Yeah, now it says Hermanos Aragon,
Ooh. So maybe tomorrow it'll
which
be the Church of Satan. I don't know.
and it's still followed by like six people I know who were suckered into this.
They just don't
Oh
care.
well.
So it's like how,
Well,
like the fake Facebook profile. You've had that. Yeah. No, you just got yours shut down, was it? How it happened?
mine got shut down and I had an alternate named one that I just used sort of just in case. And I changed that to my name.
Yeah, I probably
So,
I probably
but I
have a
made
couple.
two other fake ones just in case cuz like
Mm.
obviously if I hadn't had that other account, then I would have lost management of the two pages that I was running. Like it would
Oh,
have I wouldn't have nobody else. That's why I made you an admin of the page for this podcast, like
oh,
just in
right,
case
right.
something happened.
I guess
Uh,
SOL if that happens with me then for Facebook at
if it
least.
happens for both of us, well, yeah,
Well, honestly,
I,
the ones that people respond to is when I post to the Twilight Zone boards, and I don't even do that with the Time Enough account. I just link it. I don't think anyone looks at the Time Enough Facebook much because I usually forget to post it there. I
the
think.
thing is, I bought like one ad on Facebook, so I had an account linked to it. So someone apparently sold that account to hackers who then tried to charge other ads to my account, which I was able to stop, but I'm pretty sure that's what made my account worthy of stealing was that I had a PayPal attached to it.
Okay.
So don't buy ads through Facebook because they won't help you.
No, I know that I've done that
Like
before.
only PayPal, only I mean no seriously like
Only PayPal can
they
help you.
gave me no assistance in like getting my account back or getting my PayPal credited or anything.
No, I've done a Facebook ad or two before and realized that there's basically no point.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that like if someone takes your information and charges a bunch of ads to them,
Oh
they
well,
won't
also there's
help
no
you.
point. It's
They
it's
won't
two.
help you.
There's
Yeah.
2 points being made here.
There is no
Okay.
customer service. Yeah, but I mean my point is like much sadder than I don't know, maybe it's not much sadder. This is like there are some people who've had their account stolen and had like $3,500 charged to it and Facebook
Hmm.
wouldn't do anything about it. So
Oh yeah. Certainly not Facebook. Okay, I guess we start this thing if you want to start this thing.
Speaking of Facebook, welcome to Imprisoned in Prison, the Prisoner Prison Cast. I'm your host, Mark Malik. This is your other host, Matthew Cummingis,
That's me scratching my hand because it's itchy because it's dry, I think.
scratching
So
his hand because it's itchy and dry.
yeah,
Someday your
freestyling.
skin will be gone after you die.
I am the anvil and you are the hammers. That sounds sexual. I don't know.
When someone in this episode says, I'm going to hammer you, that sounds sexual. Yes, it does, actually.
Yeah, I mean it's like when you watch Ghostbusters these days and they're running around screaming out the keymaster and the gatekeeper. You're like, yeah, I didn't catch that when I was a kid, did I?
No.
So,
Ah,
hammer into anvil. That sounds violent, which is this episode,
mm,
which is psychologically violent, I guess.
it is psychologically violent. This episode, let's start the trivia. Do I have to say start the trivia?
I thought you were just gonna do it.
Well, I didn't. This episode was 12th in production order, produced after The General and before Many Happy Returns. It was the 10th episode to air, and it aired on December 1st, 1967. Pat Jackson returns to direct, and he'll be back to direct one more episode after this, the infamous Do Not Forsake Me, Oh My Darling, aka the one without Patrick McGowan.
It's in for like 30 seconds.
Well, I mean, who knows when he filmed that? Our writer is Roger Wattis. He worked primarily as a writer for print media, as a satirist, poet, reviewer, and puzzle compiler. This was his only writing credit for The Prisoner, and in fact, he only wrote 4 television episodes in total, and 3 of them were within a year of this episode. The 4th one was in 1975.
So he didn't die in 1968. Good for him.
No, he lived until like the 90s, not writing television. Number 2 is Patrick Cargill. You might remember seeing him previously as the character Thorpe in Many Happy Returns, which actually was produced after this episode. There is no official explanation of whether the characters are the same person. I kind of think they aren't the same person.
Well, we had lots of doppelgangers early in the show, right?
It's true. I
Like
feel
there
like
you
maybe it was a missed opportunity, but they were just like, you're here. The bandmaster is played by Victor Maddern, a seasoned British actor who also counts among his 184 credits I'm All Right, Jack and Psycho Circus.
so that's
Number
equal to
4.
Psycho.
I hope so. It's just like someone gets stabbed in a tent.
It's like the shower scene, but it's like the whole tent, so they're just running around the big top.
Dun, 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 dun. Number 14 is played by Basil Hoskins, a television actor mostly known for appearing in 62 episodes of the long running soap opera Emergency Ward 10, although there were 992 episodes in total. You could also catch him in Edge of Sanity and The Befrienders. Our tragic victim at the beginning of the episode, number 73, was played by Hilary Heath. She started out as a child doing ballet and piano performances, which soon led to acting, co-starring in 3 Vincent Price films, as well as Two Gentlemen Sharing, Man at the Top, and Space 1999. She passed away in 2020 from complications of COVID-19. Uh, this is one of the only Prisoner episodes to actually reference outside art, specifically George Bizet's L'Arlésienne. Hope I said that right, which is appropriately the story of a woman who drives a man insane. The full Goethe quote, Goethe?
Sure.
Quote referenced in this
Gerda?
episode is, you must either conquer and rule or serve and lose, be the anvil or the hammer. But later it was George Orwell who wrote, in real life, it is always the anvil that breaks, the hammer, never the other way about. Foreshadowing.
Yes. Okay, that must mean you're
Speaking of
finishing.
foreshadowing, this is where I foreshadow the entire story of the episode in a summary. We
Ooh.
open on number 2 trying to convince number 73 of her husband's infidelity while she's in the hospital. He becomes impatient and attacks her. Number 6 rushes to her aid, hearing her screams from outside. but in the commotion, she jumps to her death. Number 6 tells number 2 that he will pay for his cruelty. Number 6 is then summoned to the Green Dome, where number 2 slaps him and threatens him, letting him know that he intends to break him. Knowing that he's under surveillance, number 6 takes 6 copies of the same record at the music store and times them using his watch, then writes out a message that says from D6 to X04, which number 14 retrieves and brings to number 2, who is now convinced that number 6 is a plant. Numbers 2 and 14 follow number 6 as he leaves a document in the stone boat. They retrieve and test it, but all the pages turn up blank after various tests. Number 2 accuses multiple people of colluding with number 6. Later, number 6 calls the head of psychiatrics, posing as a superior to get a report on number 2's mental state, which of course number 2 is monitoring. Number 6 then asks the town band to play a passage from the same Bizet record he was listening to earlier, and leaves to make sure he isn't around to hear it. He leaves a message to be read over the radio that's a happy birthday message from a deceased resident of the village on a day that is not actually his birthday, further arousing number 2's suspicion. Number 14 now offers to actually kill number 6 and make it look like an accident. He challenges number 6 to a game of Kasho, but is completely unable to best him at it. Number 6 leaves a cuckoo clock at number 2's door, causing him to panic and summon the bomb squad, who discover that it's not a bomb, but just a cuckoo clock. Then number 6 attaches a message to a pigeon that means nothing, and sends a visual message in Morse code on the beach that is a simple nursery rhyme and also means nothing. Number 2 is convinced that even number 14 is conspiring against him and fires him as well. 14 attacks number 6 for causing all this, but 6 wins the fight and throws him out a window. Finally, number 6 confronts number 2 at his headquarters, telling him that if he was a plant, then 2 was obliged not to interfere, which means that he failed. He hands him the phone and tells him to call his superiors and report himself for failing, which he does.
That's being a failure. Yeah.
So if you, this, you can tell by the summary that this is kind of the dumbest episode of this show,
but kind of the best at the same time.
It's really good. It's a really good episode, but it's literally just punked. It's just one guy pranking another guy over and over who should really know better, but just to feed the story, number 2 is just stupid in this.
But it's weird, like surrealist punking, you know, none of it really makes any sense.
I mean, it's fun. It's like, yeah, it's definitely reminds me of when I took a philosophy class in college, and I got kind of bored at how the guy ran the class, so I just started when I would show up at class, I would open the door like a certain amount and just would sit back and watch and see if everyone else would keep like opening the door the same amount. And it
right.
It always worked. Sometimes I'd close it, people just keep closing it.
Yeah. I've thought about that. I have classrooms I teach in, so sometimes I'm like,
yeah, you mess with people because you get kind of bored. Of course, this is much more sadistic, but also number 2 just plays right into it. Like,
no, he's asking for it, isn't he?
Yeah, it's I'd say this aired around like 10th, 11th, 12th in most episode orders, so it's kind of like just a good place for some catharsis. Just like after 6 has been just screwed with so hard for the entire series that he just is gonna find a guy and screw with him.
Yeah, sure. And screw with number 2, of course. That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was down for that. Does that make this like gaslighting the episode, or?
Yeah. I haven't seen the movie Gaslight, actually, but
well, it doesn't matter. It's the concept, right, that we're talking about.
I'm sure the movie Gaslight is not this
weird,
aggressive and weird and
aggressively
silly.
Bizarre.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's my note there. You can say so much with blank sheets of paper, especially if you're gaslighting. Okay.
It's true.
But
yeah, just if you're listening to this and you just are bored at work, just send a document to someone that's blank.
Yeah. I like the listening pod.
Oh yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was amazing. I want something like that to listen to records in.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know what the music scene is in the States. So
Um, I don't really go the most popular local record store jack their prices up so high that I just buy things over the internet now because I can't afford to support them.
well, they couldn't afford the rent, I guess.
Well, they're still there, so I guess they're affording it by somehow. But
Well,
it was
those
like the last time there was a record store day, it was like I went there and everything was minimum $10 more than than it would be to have it shipped to my home.
yeah,
Uh,
that's no good. Anyway, yeah, like I guess we still got listening stations at the local tower, but it's all K-pop. Uh
hmm,
Mostly K-pop.
I I would like a listening station for K-pop so I know what to listen to or whatever, but mm,
No, honestly, my option was not listening to K-pop, but
that is an option.
but that's also, yeah, it just gets, especially in Japan, it gets crammed down your throat like even harder, right? So
I don't feel like it gets crammed down my throat at all here, really, but that's
yes. So if you ask a kid what music do you listen to, it's J-pop and or K-pop and nothing else. So you're kind of like, no.
I think most people around my age group listen to metal or just nothing or old stuff.
Well, I think if I'm like picture an indie rock band now, you're gonna picture like dudes in their late 40s now, right?
I suppose.
You're gonna see guys with graying temples or whatever, and as your indie rock
Yeah.
band. It's not. You don't even imagine the young bucks like a rock band, and then rock band. You think of people like a little older now. Like now, if you're like 60 playing rock, that looks right. 20 playing rock seems weird at this point, doesn't it?
Yeah, don't you feel kind of silly for I'm sure that you had a moment like in your 30s or something where you're just like I'm going to stop playing with bands because it's embarrassing. And I have friends in their 50s who are just like, "Yep, doing the band thing."
Yeah, sure. Why
And
not?
nobody cares. It's
Well, I
never
haven't.
doesn't matter.
The last time I played in a band was more than 15 years ago, but I keep playing music, so
I
I don't have friends for that. I have no music friends anymore.
I feel like I don't know who it was that said it. I feel like last time you and Andrew and them had like a reunion show that you were talking about just hanging it up before it became embarrassing or something like that, which is like probably not actually something to be concerned about. But
Yeah. That definitely didn't come out of my mouth. So,
yeah.
but yeah, my point is it's not embarrassing anymore. I feel like it seems more embarrassing for the younger set to do it now. Like you're supposed to, you know, get some tattoos on your face and stuff now.
I've def the uh the only thing I've really seen young people do that made me feel out of touch, and I've seen this maybe two or maybe three times, which I've seen somebody show up and get on stage and just sort of play some popular song off of a playback device and just kind of make up words over it and sing over it, which seems like something I feel like that seems like something that like a child would do.
Well, now
But
now you
this is
make it
like
art. You make it
I
into
don't, well, I
performance
don't
art.
know if that is something that's common or if it's just something that I saw because I was just in a place where it was a safe space to do whatever you want um and someone was just doing whatever they wanted, which, is fine. It was just not particularly my cup of tea. But I've also seen people who are much younger than me do like weird PowerPoint presentations as a live show, which was amazing. So, mm.
Now, if you look at the next slide,
But you can do whatever you think about it. You can do whatever you want, right?
I
Like
know.
I've never seen anybody do anything really weird with it, but like you could.
Oh, you should.
You should. Yeah.
Yeah. That's I guess for this episode for the modern viewer, it's kind of like that. The modern thing would be the mystery box, right? Where you're taking all the
Yes.
weird little clues and trying to figure out what it all means. The Shaggy Dog joke here being it means nothing. He's just screwing with number two for the purpose of screwing with number two.
And when you frame it like that, it makes me tremendously happy because mystery box stuff has been like some of the most disappointing things in television that I've seen over the past really 30 years. I'm going to go ahead and include X-Files in that. Like all the breadcrumbs that X-Files dropped were ended up just nothing really. It didn't work to
I
me.
know it's
Sorry,
almost
X-Files.
It's almost like this episode is like a satire of that, like 30 years before it ever happened.
Yeah.
Because it definitely has like the one that I got the most obsessed with, I suppose, was Lost, which
Yeah,
with
I fell off
that
of
did.
that pretty quickly.
Oh no, I went the whole way through until I was like, wait a minute, they didn't answer half of the stuff, and they had like a few things. They're like, oh, we'll make it like 10 minute after the finale little bumper on the DVD just to explain like three or four major things that we completely forgot about.
Ugh. I mean, I got sucked into Fringe, which was like
I was about to say I did Fringe too, and I mean, I felt that was reasonably satisfying. That just had like, hey, we're gonna have the last season be as weird as possible, you know?
I I was enraged by the end of Fringe. I was hate watching it because the thing is, season 3, God, I want to just go through this as fast as possible. Season 3 was obviously they thought they were going to be canceled, so they just erased one of the characters. And then that meant that they had to devote almost all of season 4 to explaining a world where the guy showed back up, and then he was supposed to be in love with the lady who didn't know him, and she sort of got some of her memory back from the other dimension. It was a ton of time wasted on just cleaning up their thing that was supposed to be a satisfactory end to the series because they thought they were being canceled. Then they made Leonard Nimoy evil for no reason. Then they made the bald guys evil for no reason or just because it was convenient to the plot. And there was the whole thing where the last season was like, we're hiding in a dystopian future where like the bald guys control everything, but like they couldn't ever find, it was just sort of this thing where they were in like their headquarters in a university and somehow the people who control everything couldn't find them
How
the whole
excuse me.
time.
How did you watch that show? Week to
uh
week?
I think I watched, um I caught up with it by the middle of season 3. Like I think I watched, I sort of binged the first 2 seasons first, and then by the end of season 3 I was watching as it came out.
Yeah,
um
because I think I'd get the discs, like I'd have them shipped to me, and then it's like with dinner for like a couple weeks I'd be watching, and then like a few months later do the same thing. So I never binge shows, like I never like put them on one after another, but I might. Well, I don't do it anymore, but I used to maybe do it like one episode a night. So
well, the way they handled like the whole thing where the alternate universe, it did another thing that was a pet peeve of mine where it's like there's a whole thing where when you go to the alternate universe it's like you're barely able to function and your nose is bleeding, and it's just all this like tension with like how that like worked out. But then by like the third season or the fourth season they were just like, oh, we could just go there, you just like go across a bridge and go to the other universe, which made it just boring.
anyway, it's been
uh,
10 years since I saw that one, but that's the thing. I mean, we've
it
been spending almost a year with 17 episodes. By the time we finish, it will be a year with 17 episodes of The Prisoner.
Well, that's just because you have 8 podcasts and I have a bunch of other things going on too.
That's part of it, but
Um,
this is not a show that you want to. I think The Prisoner is not a bingeable show.
it would it would definitely make me feel kind of insane if I binged it. You could do it, but
You could, I mean, of course you could do it, but I mean, within three or four episodes, I think in close quarters, you'd end up just like mixing everything together and like, swapping bits of episodes and like
mhm.
I think that this show does require a little bit of decompress,
I,
which is
yeah,
built in as it was aired what weekly or whatever at the time, so that you had that time.
I think weekly is very good for this show, or even daily is probably better than watching it all crammed together.
That's kind of my point.
There was definitely the last time I saw this show in the wild, they were definitely running out of one of those free like cable channels, or not cable channels, but you were in the States when they switched over to like digital TV, right? I don't
I
remember
don't.
how long.
I don't even
Well,
remember.
there are a bunch of random broadcast channels that are free over the air. Like one of them is sort of just like classic TV, this or that, and they were just running all of The Prisoner in order, just
in
for a
some
few
order.
days. In some order in a row for a few days. So you just would turn on the channel and there would be some prisoner episode.
Yeah, that's maybe not the best way to do this show. This
Okay.
is, I mean, you know, The Simpsons. You'll make if you binge The Simpsons. I'm thinking classic seasons of The Simpsons. Although you probably newer ones
Mhm.
too, but you know, you'll jumble those all up too. But that's kind of fine, right?
I guess that is another repetitive show. But
Right. But well, this one though, the texture is definitely different from episode to episode. But yeah, it's
Mhm.
there. It's that's the thing.
Well,
It's got a formula that he's effing with, right?
this again, I think for the third or fourth time in the row, this feels like a different series.
Excuse me, I
Hmm.
turned my heater on and it's drying out my throat, so I've been
Oh
coughing into the
no.
microphone. Ah,
Get that vaporizer.
yeah,
That
yeah,
vaporizer, son.
yeah. But this one, I guess having a different two every week really drives that home. You know that
So
it
this
feels like
really
a
looked
different
like,
show every week.
did you think this guy looked like King Charles? I
Uh,
did.
maybe I'm looking for if I made a note about him. No, I guess I was talking more about like his just his paranoia, right?
That was his defining trait. Even though at the beginning, that's another reason that I say this is kind of the dumbest episode of this show is like if you even think a little bit about the beginning of the episode, it doesn't make like I was just laughing immediately because it's just this thing where he's trying to convince someone that her husband is cheating on her, I think, for some reason. And then it sort of zooms in on him, but it doesn't show him actually doing anything. And then she starts screaming, and number six is like, I hear screaming, and he's like half like 2 blocks away, runs up there. She jumps out the window. I don't know why.
Yeah,
Uh
I thought
I don't know what's happening. I don't know why any of that happened. I don't understand. I don't really know what number does number six always come running when someone screams.
well, my notes. One, I thought she looked like Pam from The Office, kind of. The
She
village
was
seems like a reasonable
stunning.
place to want to slash your wrists. And oh yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
and I wrote Six's Spidey sense just flared. That's what I assumed was going on. It did have like a it did have a
Yeah.
bit of a super 60s superhero moment, like you know my prison sense has just gone off or whatever.
Yeah, someone screaming could mean like anything, really. It could mean that she's just crazy.
Yeah, that I mean, there's plenty of people that just scream in the village for no reason.
Yeah, it could mean she's in one of those chambers. I don't see him like running after one of those dudes who's like trapped in a chamber.
Yeah. Once we get rolling, I mean, in the past they've just let Six's light down in his apartment or whatever, his cottage, and knock him out, and then they drug him up for like a few weeks. I mean, they could do that again.
It's true they could do a lot of things. The only thing they really seem to do is they send the striped shirt guys in the golf cart, which is we're seeing more striped shirt guys. I'm
The
not really
fuzz,
clear on what the striped shirt means police.
or the fuzz. I don't know. Or the I think I said last week the local ruffians. They're the
Yeah, maybe that's
ruffians.
the ruffian league. They send the ruffian league to go abduct him, and then they send a guy to like. This is one of the only times in the series that anybody is like, we have to kill him, and then number 14 completely fails at that.
Well, of course. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. He fails at that, but I mean,
Kasho.
yeah, maybe
Number six is the best at
right.
Kasho.
He invented it.
Yeah. And it has that music again that's like the racist music. Like dun, 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 dun,
And then,
dun,
you're
dun, dun.
right. And then it's supposed to be like an action scene, and it doesn't. Not a good fit.
I mean, I have to give it to them. At least they tried something different. Whatever it was they were doing. The only thing, the only real issue I take is just that it had racist music. But I mean, everything would have had that back then.
Oh, here's my note that says I kind of do think number two is stupid. Okay, so
Yeah, he's terrible.
it's
This is the worst number two possibly ever because I don't even know what his plan was at the beginning.
I mean, what's the kibble, you know, at this point in the series? Because we've had all these number twos so far. Maybe he knows the fates of some of these number twos, and that's why he's flipping out a bit more.
Maybe. I mean, what did he actually, I mean, did number 73 dying like was that a failure too? Like that never even comes up. Like what was he get if he was getting trying to get something from her, he failed at that too. So he fails at that and then he slaps number 6 and number 6 like just proceeds to completely dismantle him over the course of like a day and a half. So it's just
Oh,
he's the worst. I don't I cannot recall a worse number 2 than this guy.
well, the episode, as you said, does end with Six telling him to call his superiors and tell them he
Does-
failed because it's
yeah.
so
No,
it's
you're gonna call. Like, could you imagine somebody being like, "You have done a bad job. You're gonna call and resign," and you would do it?
he's done
Like,
that bad a job.
yeah, absolutely.
This is, I mean, sometimes you get someone in running the place that's stupid. Um
Yeah, and nobody. He fires the supervisor. This is the last episode. We'll see the supervisor in.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, he fires the regulars. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he fired the butler. The butler will be back, but he fired the butler. He fires the it's just insane. He
This
fires
is
number 14 who like goes and freaks out and correctly correctly assesses that number 6 ruined his life.
so the supervisor does not come back then. Okay, that's great.
Nope. I don't think that was planned, but
Oh yeah, because
we've
it's the
seen
end
the
of the
last
season.
episode with
Yeah.
him in it.
Oh
We've
yeah,
seen
because
the
many
last
happy
episode with him in
returns.
it.
Yeah, many happy returns. He wouldn't be in that, and then I guess he just didn't
Nope.
come back for the last ones.
Nope. Yeah, we're almost to the point of Patrick McGowan losing his mind in the production of the show.
Right, just run off for a while.
Yep.
Although I have heard he was doing that to fund the last episodes, which sounds reasonable. Although I do like the idea that he just went nuts and was like, I have to get out of this.
Yeah, I think it was probably a little of each.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But let's see if there's anything else I got here. Yeah,
I
I
think
did say this is the slappiest two. Okay.
yeah, he backhanded at least 2 people. It doesn't even show us what he did to number 73. It just like did like the Simpsons rock bottom thing where it zooms in on his face and then she starts screaming, so we don't even really know. Like I took in my summary I said he attacked her, but that's just what the Wikipedia summary says. I wasn't even really convinced of that.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking about, the idea is Six really a spy, which I'm not convinced on, but he certainly has some ass kicking skills.
Yeah, I mean he's I think this is one of those where he gets um usually he uses these type of skills to try and escape and instead he's just if he was able to use these skills to escape, well I guess escaping is harder than just messing with somebody.
Yeah, like
That's
again, his skill set here, I don't quite think it's spying he's doing. I mean, like it's more of psychological experimenting himself.
yeah, it's a weird I don't know how to feel about it. It seems like stuff that someone it seems like advanced screwing with people. It's more just like brash than anything else. Like anybody could probably think of all these things to do, but it's like would you like could you imagine like having the guts to like someone's in charge of the whatever the village you're stuck in and you're just like leaving a cuckoo clock on their door? It's sort of like
So I'm looking at this is right after the Kosho thing. I'm trying to figure out what my
mm.
notes mean because I don't. Despite all his screaming, he's still setting up traps for rats to end up trapped in a cage. Okay. WWBMD, what would Bomberman do? Why did I write that?
Oh, because bomb squad.
Oh yeah, that's why. Oh yes, that's okay. That's
Because he
why.
would leave a bomb there and then he would leave.
Yeah, yeah, that's what. Okay, good. Hey, weird. You had to explain my own thinking to me. That's kind of fun.
Mm.
And then this one, I don't even know why I wrote this. It just says life hack. If you wear a hooded coat backwards and put a hamburger into it, you've got your own feedback.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
So, I have no clue why I wrote that, but yeah, it seems like good advice.
Maybe someone was wearing something backwards. I don't know. I had
That
a
might
note
have
about there's a part where number six puts the box out with the pigeon, and it looks like really obviously bad green screen, even though it's outside.
been. I think that's the problem talking about this episode, since nothing in the episode makes sense. Talking about the episode doesn't
Well,
make
this
sense.
it was really hard for me to do the summary because it's literally number six does this, number six does this, number six does this, number six does this. It's just him doing things in a row.
And none
That's
of it
like the
makes
entire
sense when you
story.
explain it, right? Like, I mean, when you're doing your summary, I was sitting here like kind of giggling a little bit because it just sounded so stupid when you put it that
Yeah,
way.
it's like it's just impossible to make like uh just when you find yourself repeating yourself like that, you just try to find different ways to phrase the same thing over and over because you don't want to say that over and over. Number six does this, number six does that. You say number six does this, then number six has done this. Following that, this was done by number six. It's like just
So
pretty
do you?
telling this was written by a guy who wrote like no TV basically. You know what I mean? I made sure to put in my trivia that he was also known as a puzzle compiler. Like you imagine he's just like made the jumble for the paper sometimes.
Okay, but these puzzles have no solution.
Yeah, it's literally just like the just every day you unscramble a word. That's almost like the energy this has. It's like now it's this puzzle. Now it's this puzzle.
I
It's
I kind of do wonder if it makes sense to go production order and go many happy returns after this. What do you think? Does that make more sense? Like after he's dismantled this number two, they just like, okay, let's just leave him.
well, the issue is that the guy who was working at the office in London would be the number two from the previous week. Like that's the thing that would really be difficult. Like you would expect him to at least be like, number I don't know about this. Number two, let me see. Are there any orders where this is after Hammer and Anvil?
If you do
And
production
the
order,
answer is absolutely not. Zero.
okay.
Um, Hammer. Well, I'll just gonna read them. Some of these are like fan orders,
Yeah,
but
I
like,
looked, I seen that
I
chart before. So I mean, I'm
yeah.
not
In
looking at it
fact,
now, but
in most cases, Many Happy Returns is like several episodes before it.
that's how we did it, right? Or like three
There you
before or
go.
something. Yeah. So
Yeah, it's like 7, 10, 7, 14, 6, 14, 9, 12,
it
9,
sounds like you're
11.
quoting Bible verses,
Now
except
I'm
for that
just
last one.
saying things.
Because
It's
I get
actually second. This this episode is second in order for the what is this? INF? What is that? The oh weird. This is just the warehouse order.
okay. I'm not
So
going to
it's
trust
like
the warehouse in this case.
Channel four's transmission of the series in 83, 84. That's a very niche thing to add, but
Yeah, yeah. It's
can you
because this
imagine this
makes
is a second episode?
this makes
Like that's
zero sense. And
crazy. I
yeah,
mean, it's I mean you'd know what was happening, but
that's just
she
kind of like that. In that order, number six just kind of shows up and instantly owns the village.
also is instantly just helping people. I feel like the order we've watched in has worked a lot because you sort of gradually see him actually like socialize, and at first he's kind of not doing that.
Yeah, I think I've said before. The only thing that I feel that maybe is a mistake with the one we've been doing is you should probably flip the general on the schizoid man. But I think I said that last time too. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a two timer now. Just like that husband at the beginning.
True. Or not. Maybe he wasn't a two timer.
I don't know if you want to riff on it or not, but I did kind of one. I noted that this number two seemed like ready to show up at the Capitol on January 6th. He seemed like that kind of guy, and that made
He's
me feel too bad that the shaman didn't just kind of show up in this episode because that would have been cool too.
yeah, he's pretty sweaty.
So yeah, yeah, but I mean that's the whole thing with like wild paranoia, like
Hmm.
he's the guy that would go into that. Whether in any case, he'd just be the sheep you heard, which I guess is why he's. I mean, I wonder if they're like, let's put an intentionally terrible number two in place. Like that could be like the village's own mind game. Let's put a
Well,
guy in that six can just smash with his thumb.
it it worked because just like last week we had the paranoid, or not the paranoid, sorry, the brainwashing. What was I'm
A
trying to
change of mind.
how do I phrase this? He was the right guy for the communist episode.
Okay, yeah, sure. So, um, I do feel like yeah, the number twos are getting more desperate and the order we're watching. Because the
Hmm.
first couple number twos are extremely confident, right?
That's true. There's definitely a lot of I'm looking early on. We have number two. Yeah, the free for all and Dance of the Dead and Checkmate number twos were all pretty competent, and Chimes of Big Ben
Right.
competent. And then when we get to A,
Schizoid
B,
Man. That was a
we get to
sharp
A, B,
one.
and C, that guy was like,
Well, he got that was number six's first, I guess, big victory in our watching
uh-huh.
order, right? So,
Yeah.
but up to that point, he seemed relatively in charge. A little, was it he or she? I don't remember. But pushy,
Hmm.
giving our dose, that sort of thing. So a little more unhinged, but that's again, that's now on. That's several
But
episodes into our order. That's number six in our order.
but the last time we had a number two that was like fully in control was Many Happy Returns. And
Oh, right.
it's your funeral and a change of mind both just involve number twos getting kind of like either thrown under the bus or fired or probably killed.
Yeah. So that's the thing. I keep saying the ramping up of intensity is important how you order them, and I do think the number excuse me the number two is increasingly falling apart and being shoddier because yeah, in this case maybe you do start off with your best people and these are the dregs of who they can put into this position.
I loved the I love to think
Military
of it as the
promotion
idea
style.
of yeah, I love to think of the idea as just like the HR who's hiring the number twos is getting more desperate. Like there's someone hiring all these people. It's like, I don't know, get the sweaty guy in here.
That'd be a good niche parody show. You have the number two hire interviews out in
Yeah,
London.
number three or whatever. Just hiring all the number twos.
Right, right.
Have we
So
had a number three? I guess we haven't.
we've had a four though. Yeah, we've had fours. So we haven't had a three, I think.
I feel like they've been leaning more on two-digit numbers lately.
Yeah. I mean the only one that would really perk up is if you saw a one on there, right? So
Of course.
number one. That was one thing, the Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Rebecca Amgen's character, the first officer, right? And then in the original
Hmm.
Star Trek, that character is just number one, right?
Hmm.
And the fan theory was from her planet, everyone is ranked, and she actually is number one from her planet, and that's her name.
What?
That's why she's in Starfleet, because on her planet, everyone is just a number, and like on the island here, but she's number one on her planet.
That's wild. Like imagine if the best person on your planet has to go into space.
Yeah, the best of us could maybe do go into space. I don't know. Anyway, I that
Not
theory
here.
that barely makes sense, and I think she does have a name now. But I liked the idea.
Hmm.
Yeah, because it was in a book, and I was like, oh no no no, I don't like that. And now it's in the series, I believe. So you can't really push that theory anymore. But I thought it
I,
was a good one.
I want to clarify that when I said not here, I wasn't referring to the US space program. I was referring to millionaires who go into space in
Oh, okay.
privatized craft. Just so everyone knows where I am on that.
Okay, okay. Sorry, I was thinking of the Star Trek dream there. So
We'll see if that happens, but it seems like most likely we're currently looking at a future with billionaires and whoever they can get to exploit or charge money.
Hey, would you trade
possibly.
your smartphone in for like a functional village phone?
What do you mean functional?
Like you can call people with it, and you're going around with this big
Oh, you mean
binary
just
colored.
like, you mean just aesthetically? Maybe like
Um,
if it could be a little smaller, yeah.
no, it has to be correct size. It's to scale.
It
What
can
if it
have like
is
a belt
just
clip.
what if it is just a keypad, but
Hmm,
it calls everybody?
sure.
I mean, you
But I
could
mean, I
go
don't like talking on the phone. I like texting. So can it text?
like the way you would text on old folded up phones,
Like, yeah, I have to, I have to just hit like two, three times for the letter C, like that kind of thing.
that kind of thing. Yeah.
All right, sure, why not?
See, I knew I could talk you into that.
Yeah, you're right.
Now you
Mm.
have to tell everyone you failed because you let me talk you into a village phone.
I'm going to call my mother and tell her that I failed. I resign. Uh,
That'd be cool. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is kind of like I said, it's kind of hard one to talk about because it's so scattershot and just eventy. The
it's
events are all like nonsensical.
it is just yes, a
It's
series
like
of things. It's very fun to watch. I mean,
how do we talk about him flashing a nursery rhyme in Morse code on the beach? It's just like
yeah, it was one of these things where it's just you can it's sort of a thing where I wonder how I would react in this situation. Like, how would I react to someone doing this to me? Because watching this, I feel like I would immediately be like, this dude is just trying to mess with me. And it
maybe I
seems
should
so obvious, but
induce a coma on this man like we've done like five times previously.
well, maybe I'm not. Maybe they didn't give this number two any coma stuff.
Yeah, or maybe he's an anti med sort of guy, and that's his school of psychiatry.
Like he's afraid that if he knocks out number six, that something will happen to him somehow. It's
Yeah. No, he just doesn't like to prescribe drugs. He feels everyone's overprescribed, so he's like, I'm not going to drug him. I can do this on my own. And then he fails miserably. You could say stuff like that because he fails miserably.
he fails so miserably, and it's one of those that just doesn't feel like a complete. I feel like I'm missing there's things missing from this story somehow.
I
Just
guess
like
this is the first one where everyone that watches is like, I could do a better job than this guy. I'm smarter than this guy, which is not the case because again, the early number two seem to know quite a bit that you didn't, right? Whereas
yes,
this
it's
guy is
like
total
it's
mid management, burnout.
it feels like an advertisement to not get into the spy business. It's like this is what spy business does to you if you're or espionage does to you if you just like let your brain run away with it. It's like
Possibly.
he's using all of his resources just to fire people close to him and make them not trust him. Like you tell everyone's sort of like, I don't know this guy.
I used to play different music on like five different things at the same time. That's
Hmm.
kind of like him timing his records.
I actually, I mean, well, I've tested record players like that, but not records. Like you're not gonna find a different record. It's just
you
again, it
know,
seems obvious. Like why would he do that other than to it, especially because your interaction, number two's interaction with number six was to slap him and be like, "I'm going to hammer you," and then he just goes.
you liked that slap, didn't you, big boy?
How do you think number six is going to react? It's like, I guess he
Well,
thinks that
he assumes that's a prisoner and he's number two, which we don't really know what that means anyway. But
it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's just like I think it's
well,
just catharsis. Like you're just supposed to like sit back and enjoy your troubled protagonist just getting one over on this evil guy who attacks women in the hospital.
right, right, yeah, this guy just sucks. It's just that's I guess that's why this episode's so fun because it's not like number six is being sadistic or anything. It's like no, number two is such an idiot who is mean to people that it's kind of just fun to watch him get screwed with for 45 minutes
Yeah.
and watch him flip out, and then just like, yeah.
Yeah, also knowing that he's not going to be back next week.
Oh
It's one
well,
of those things where you assume he's not going to be back next week.
the last 3 episodes have made it clear that number two is not going to be back next week.
Yeah, I mean we are going to come up on a returning number 2, but I think that's what the
Well,
last
that's
2
yeah,
episodes are the
that's
guy.
that's that's the last 2 episodes. So it
Hmm.
makes sense in that case. But yeah, because in the first several that we watched, it was just like, oh, it's just a different number two. You don't really know what happened, but until that guy retired, maybe that's when they lost like their quality work pool when that the original number two retired.
In It's Your Funeral, which was 2 weeks ago.
Because everyone since then, including the guy in It's Your Funeral, were just like garbage number twos.
Yeah, and then maybe the guy we have in the last 2 episodes from the guy from Free for All is going. No, sorry, not Free for All. He was from the Chimes of Big Ben. The Chimes of Big Ben guy comes back because he was the real main number 2
It was
all along.
well before that guy retired, probably. Yeah.
It feels like we should just be having. Would this be more fun if all these guys were like a range of numbers from like 2 through 20 and they just kind of all had different numbers?
No, they all have to be
No?
number two. Everyone has to be number two.
Okay.
It's like again, it's like I like to think it's Homer Simpson's nuclear plant where even the Rod eventually gets to be employee of the month, just not Homer.
But what if the rod was always a different color?
Aha.
It's that is an interesting that is just an interesting thing where it's like I know of no other TV series that's ever done this.
Right. I mean, if you did it now, people would be like, "That's nuts." When they remade The Prisoner, they couldn't do it because it was too nuts.
They just had one, yeah, they had the one guy who was number 2 the whole time.
And I'm like, that sounds
That's
terrible. That I mean, Ian McCullen's great, but that sounds like a terrible idea.
that's one thing. They even named a bunch of those episodes the same names as some of these episodes. It's just like if you're going to keep one thing from the original series, maybe keep that.
Yeah,
It's
it
kind of the most
seems
interesting thing, right?
kind of. I don't know. It's a key thing. Let's say that.
It's interesting. I guess someone was like, "Nah, man, we have to make this realistic because it's 2009."
It's got to be real. Let's make it twisted.
Yeah, dude, number two's into corn.
Right. Yeah. 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 So I don't know. I guess I'm still like I guess we have to at least skim through it, if not watch it all at some point. But we'll get through this first because
We can try.
we'll see what
Wait,
happens. I don't know if there's
yeah.
people out there that really want us to watch that one or not. So I guess if anybody cares,
You know what? Yeah. If you care, you know, write a message and staple it to no, tie it
it
to a
needs to be
pigeon's
blank.
leg.
It's gonna be blank. There should be
Yeah, you have
nothing on
to
it.
write a blank letter, tie it to a pigeon, and send it to us
Right.
at
Or
the
or you can support us. I guess I'm doing a spiel. Support us on
I was
Patreon at
gonna say I was gonna say that, but go ahead.
Where we do Podcastius on Patreon. So many P's there. You could support us there, get episodes early, have a chit chat here and there and again. We do some live events every once in a while. We also do sci-fi movies and Matt and Luke's Sci-Fi Sanctuary, a Cult Disney and a Cult Disney, uh, Twilight Zone at Time Enough Podcast, and you can video game it at Luke Loves Pokemon, Monster Mash, about Monster Hunter, and the Game Show where you will get gamed by the games, and other people get gamed by the games.
True.
Sorry, I spent that entire spiel slightly needing to clear my throat again.
Well, if you need to clear your throat, find us on Twitter or Facebook at The Prisoner Pod.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't do that little part. Okay.
Well,
Okay.
I did. So
Okay.
anyway,
Go call your mom. Tell her. Yep. Tell her you resigned because of what you just did with your microphone.
be the anvil, not the yes. I'm gonna go call my mom and tell her that I'm a hammer.
MC Hammer. Please hammer. Don't hurt me.
No. Yeah, MC Anvil crushed me. Oh no.
The anvil would split you, right? I mean, eventually
I have to find out if there's an MC
shatters you.
Anvil. MC Anvil.
It sounds like a white supremacist rapper, to
Uh,
be honest.
I type in MC Anvil and it's like
You
it
got
just shows
pornography?
me no Minecraft Anvil.
Oh, that's no fun.
Well,
What
maybe it is though. I don't know. I
what
don't play Minecraft.
how about MC Anvil rapper?
That's a
If you
good
had
point.
if you had rapper to your search there.
MC Anvil rapper. First result, Minecraft the Anvil rap.
Oh, come on, that's stupid. What's the second result?
I don't
Now I'm
nah,
doing it.
dude, I don't think there was one. I don't think there was one.
But I'm searching on DuckDuckGo. The
Do
re-
it.
no, the reason I actually have that as my browser is because when I do images for the podcast, it allows you to search for square images, which Google will not let you do.
DuckDuckGo is a better search engine anyway because Google gives you sponsored results for mine. For all I fucking know, they've Minecraft paid them too. I
Yeah, because I'm not getting anything. I'm not getting. I think I agree with you. There's no wrapper by that, so you could take it.
guess you
Um,
wouldn't be like, "Yo, man, I'm a fucking anvil."
I'm
Like, you don't actually want to be the anvil, right?
I'm
I
not.
guess not.
I'm not, okay. I got Minecraft results like 4 down. So yeah, it sounds like
Mm.
the best rappers with MC in their name on Ranker. Let's see what we get. I have a feeling this is not going to be as fun as I think it should be.
Uh,
MC. It's just people's names. MC Chris. Okay, here's one. MC Frontalot. These people are all. There's a lot of white people here. Okay.
I
MC
know
Hammer
who MC
number five.
Frontalot is.
Oh, okay.
I
MC I.
MC Frontalot is a nerdcore rapper.
That looks.
Oh, he's from Compton's Most Wanted, like EIHT,
Yeah.
Compton's Most Wanted. He actually voiced the fake Eazy-E in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas
Okay. Yeah. This
because
isn't as
Eazy-E was
fun.
dead by then.
Oh, right, right. So I'm just looking through here, and yeah, there's not. These names aren't satisfying. MCP and no, yeah, okay. This is not a fun rabbit hole. This is so don't go looking for MC names. It's not as fun as you would think. I could look up worst rapper
I
names.
really don't think it was. I don't really don't think that it was gonna be fun. I didn't think it was gonna be. I thought maybe I would find whoever if there was an MC Anvil, but
Worst rappers of all the 10 worst rappers of all time. We'll see who we get there. Well,
is Vanilla Ice on the list?
they put number one as Lil Wayne. I don't know. This is just someone who
What?
doesn't like people.
That's bullshit.
This is just someone who doesn't
That's
like people.
absolute bullshit. Yeah,
Yeah,
seriously. It's like,
Vanilla
did Lil
Ice is
Wayne
number
like
7.
steal your girlfriend or something? All right. Now, there's no universe in which Lil Wayne is like even close to the worst rapper, especially not like over Vanilla Ice. Like
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
this is just a vindictive list. They got Nicki Minaj and Two Chains and Pitbull, and I mean, it's not like I'm like gonna stand up
Is
for any of
Pitbull
those
even a
people.
rapper? I thought
I
Pitbull was
don't know.
mostly like a DJ or singer or something. Fuck, I don't know.
I have Pitbull CDs because when they were giving away CDs at the place near here, I can
Cool.
find out. I can listen. I think he did an album in Spanish.
I thought you were gonna say Japanese.
Oh no. Yeah, yeah. This is just vindictive stuff here. That's no fun. Accidentally gay rap lyrics. Those are always fun to look up. Have you had that search before?
Which search?
Accidentally gay rap lyrics.
No.
Okay. This is from crack.com. I think 10 years ago was the first result I got. Because I think I do remember reading, and that's probably why I started to become like obsessed with these in the first place.
Hmm.
Let's see. I got a bitch who's a man. That's Ice T and 99 Problems. What he's probably saying, that dude is a bitch, right?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I don't think he was. I don't think, if anything, that is probably more problematic than it is any admission of
Hold on,
actually like
hold
having
on.
gay sex.
This is from Mac Dre back in the hood. I need some cock hella bad. I need to be free, steady dreaming about wrecking guts and cock, laying on my bunk, busting nuts and socks.
All right.
Which I think is
And
like
that's accidentally gay.
being well, he's it's being in jail lyrics apparently. So it in that context, I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, well, shit.
Okay, let's see. Now I'm in the club, no VIP. I'm down low where every last hoodlum be. I feel baby boy trying to ice grill me. Walk up to him, nice and polite. Let him know it's real. Lift the shirt up light. I'ma let it off because I ain't trying to fight.
All right.
Okay. Nerds rockstar. Guess you ain't heard that we swallow guys. And then nerds lap
You ever
dance. Then nerds lap
some,
dance. I dare a motherfucker to come in my face.
some, sometimes I really think about how like Mike Tyson that one time said he was going to eat that dude's children, and how that could absolutely be interpreted as like sucking his dick and drinking his cum.
Beanie Man, how can I make love to a fellow?
All right.
I was
Oh, it's like suggesting that how women should make love to me. Is that what it is? He's like named it wrong or something.
me bang a guy preposterous. That's what they write. He's probably saying. Well, I was driving around blasting Beanie Man a few months ago again because of the 50 yen CDs.
Was that like a one of those reggae guys, I think?
Oh God,
I
yeah,
don't really
Beanie
know
Man's
Beanie
great.
Man.
Oh, I'll have seen it's just like well, when Maddie was in the car with me and I was playing it, he was like, "Oh, it's Jamaican fuck club music."
I remember Super Cat.
I'll send you a Beanie Man clip right after this because that's it, man.
Cool.
Beanie Man's fucking fantastic.
Awesome.
That's who Sting should have made an album with.
Oh my God.
Ti's Get Loose, taking cum in the face. Yeah, I like it like that. What he's probably saying, my dearest love, the way you let me blow my load in your face warms my heart. What we like to think he's saying, you know what, I like jizz right in the face. There, I said it. So I'm stealing someone else's jokes here, but they're
Yes.
funny. And so you can I mean, this is not the episode, right? So I can just read crack.com articles that are offensive.
Sure. I mean, we could have a Patreon podcast where we just read cracked articles.
Yeah. I know it hurts to find out me and your man be sharing skirts. the skirt,
Jesus.
the skirt I'm wearing, I borrowed it from your boyfriend. Wait, why are you crying? DMX is party up. All you men's up in the jail before sucked my dick.
God, I wonder like
They get funnier and funnier as you go because they're like more and more removed from context. Because now the context is the last couple you heard, right?
yeah.
Big pun, you ain't a killer. When you awaken, your manhood will be taken.
God.
Number one is okay. Number one is Lil Wayne again. No, this isn't
Number one cum rapper.
hollow at me, baby. It's Wheezy fucking baby. And that's not. No, that's why is number one nowhere near as funny as the 10 before it. And the couple I skipped because even on Patreon, I'm not gonna drop an N bomb.
Yeah, don't.
I didn't. But okay. Anyway, that was fun.
Good.
Yeah. Oh, there's more. There's more. Sorry if you're still listening. Well, you're
No,
still listening.
no.
Episode's over.
Oh, you're not apologizing to me. You're apologizing to the listener.
Yeah, because now I got Eminem's "Don't Push Me."
I am sorry, listener.
Man, I'm done
I'm
saying that
like
I'm
looking
done.
at other things halfway.
Man, I'm done saying that I'm done playing. I'm gonna start laying any of these motherfucking cocksuckers. What he's
I'm
probably
just gonna
saying,
look for
no
like
joke, my patience is exhausted. Now I'm going to start shooting people. We like to think he's saying serious. I'm going to start having sex with
shooting
dudes.
people. I found the same list that you were. Found the same list. Oh look, my homie's gay lyrics on full blown AIDS. What the?
Here's Ice T again with I Love Ladies, but don't get me wrong, most fellas do rock.
The most controversial and popular song on full blown AIDS. This song is intended as satire.
I don't want a satire. I want accidents. This one's not as
Well,
good. This article isn't as funny. This one's good though. Black Moon, act like you want it. I get paid to rip. Step aside. I'ma blow you. DJ Quick, yeah, dollars plus cents. Now, I never had my dick sucked by a man before, but you gonna be the first, you little trick asshole.
yeah.
That's good.
West Side WC of West Side Connection. So I stuck an apple in his mouth and dug his ass out. All right.
What? Ever since you was a pee-wee, down by my knee with a wee-wee. That's Tupac.
Oh, I
Tupac.
even know this.
Tupac.
Notorious B.I.G. Me and my bitch. You look so good, I'll suck on your daddy's dick. I don't know. I think that was actually because Notorious B.I.G. was so good at writing lyrics that he was just like, "You
Yeah,
look so good."
I mean, I'm sure some of these like make more sense in the context, but taken out of context, they're pretty. Is that you or me?
Yeah, it was me.
Oh, okay, because I had
Sorry,
actually fumbled my mic right when it happened, but it seemed like your horrible noise. So yeah,
I need to just replace this cord, and I just keep forgetting to do it.
yeah. Well, I have this thing. Actually, there I got that. That's my noise. That's my noise there.
Like trying to do it doesn't work. It's just I have to do it.
See, I can try and do it. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm trying to do it, and it's not working. It's
trying
like
not
only
to do it's the problem, right?
by accident.
Oh, you almost made it happen. I mean, I don't like that noise.
I mean, I don't either.
Why do you keep
Ugh.
making it?
Why do I keep making it? Should I do the podcast like this?
No, I was thinking,
Why?
no, you should do your best Roger Rabbit, and then we just talk about candy for 2 hours. That's the new
I'll
pod.
talk about candy for 2 hours.
Why it's just some sweetness, and it's really tasty. You know, you can really enjoy it.
Well, the one flavor of nerds is cherry.
Those are
Have you
real
tried
nerds. They're
cherry?
not from back in the day. We didn't have it. It was just orange and grape. That's it.
Yeah. It doesn't taste like cherries.
The
But
bananas, that tastes like the old kind of bananas. Candy banana doesn't taste like modern bananas.
we're making like the worst Patreon content that's ever existed.
It's because we got okay. This is just getting back to the prisoner. So what is the listing? I see. Our brains got broken by that episode.
Yeah, for sure. It's just we just went through a list of things, and now we're going through a list of Laffy Taffy flavors.
Nerds. We were talking. No,
Insane.
those are nerds.
Nerds.
You didn't talk about Laffy Taffy. That's a different episode. Another 2 hour episode.
Oh
Maybe
my
that
god.
maybe that should be our April Fool's episode. We'll put out a 2 hour episode where we just talk about one piece of candy.
Yeah, just a butterscotch nibs or something that's not even something that's not available in your country or mine. Like something that's just like European.
I mean, I've never tried it, you know.
So yeah, Tiger Crunch. How about that? Belgians love it.
I mean, I just gotta have to trust them, you know. I don't have personal experience.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Cadbury niblets? Sounds great.
But yeah, actually I did forget that we zoomed and said we were gonna do it yesterday. But so I was like, oh, well, that's too soon because I'd already watched the episode. But it turned out it was too soon.
I
So Everything
It
worked out.
actually was, yeah, it was the thing where I was gonna have people come over and hang out right after we did the podcast, and I like realized I need to get some snacks and I need to get some creamer for the coffee and I need to
That's
get
some
the
candy.
and I just it was like a thing where I didn't make a shopping list, so I ended up having to stop 3 times instead of once, and then I ended up cutting it really close and wasn't I watched the whole episode, but I didn't have like the summary or the trivia done, and it was like, well,
That's groovy. But yeah, yeah, your Sunday night. I have to be careful not to say Monday because in my universe it's Monday, but
well, I was
Sunday
just
night.
that's why I messaged you, was just making sure that when you said Tuesday, you didn't mean your Tuesday.
No, I try to put in the terms of the person I'm talking to. So
That's good. Yeah. Cause I've actually, the very first time I was on a podcast was like this guy in Arizona somewhere. And he was like, he was lives in one of those places where there isn't daylight savings time. And he was trying to coordinate like a few people from a few different places. And he somehow every time fucked it up. And there were times when like all of us would be like ready to go and he just wouldn't show up. Like it was just a disaster. And I think he's still doing podcasts, but I'm sure I don't think he's doing podcasts with people in other time zones anymore.
no, no, he just does rants by himself
Yeah, he's just like
about.
January 6th would have worked if I'd done. I don't know. He's not like that, but that would be really funny if it was like that.
Okay, I'm gonna take a shower. I'm gonna
Daylight
go to work.
savings time should be eliminated. All right, cool.
Oh, and that actually, yeah, that starts in
It
what,
should be.
3 weeks? Because I don't do daylight savings time.
Well, the funny thing is like they're talking about eliminating it, but making it always daylight savings time.
I guess that's fine.
Which sounds like it just seems like the kind of thing where they're like, no, we're not gonna. It seems like they're almost like they have to find a catch for it or something. Like, okay, we'll stop changing the time, but it'll always be the changed time. Like that's what it feels like to me anyway.
Yeah, you can't just count time zones anymore that way. That sucks.
I don't really care if it's like not
Yeah.
changing sounds fun. I don't. I'm not gonna like.
Oh, I've very much enjoyed never changing the time. But we're
Yeah,
on real time. We use real time, not that fake time.
yeah. Woo.
Okay,
Anyways,
I will go ahead and end this. I'm still recording, which
cool.
is mildly insane. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I'm like
Live.
I definitely lost my mind halfway through the gay rapper list. Um, all
So if you're
right.
still listening, that's wild. But not you, but
Yeah,
the listeners
hammer
listening.
be the anvil, not wait, be the hammer, not the anvil, be the anvil, not the
You
hammer.
want to be the Anvil, I think is the point.
Not that